breathe. Just breathe. Now reach out. What do you see?
Light. Darkness. A balance.
It's so much bigger.
Hello. Welcome to Frame Rate. Today, obviously by our reactions, I'm sure you can tell we saw Star Wars The Last Jedi. Let's get right into it, shall we?
A little heads up, this section of the review is just going to be spoiler free. When we talk about spoilers, we'll have a nice big old fat spoiler warning.
You'll know.
We'll start briefly. We'll summarize briefly the story and how we felt about it. Short answer, we fucking hated it.
That's so true.
The tone, the movie was unfocused. It felt all over the place. The comedy was everywhere. Everywhere. If you thought Force Awakens had too much comedy, this movie is Force Awakens times 3.
Unnecessary comedy. It's like you could tell the Disney influence on making this a family film for kids is so apparent. It's
Jesus
awful.
Christ. Before every fight, during every fight, and after every fight, there was a joke somewhere in there. It killed all the tension from any of the fight scenes.
It was awful, yeah.
And anytime they had tension, they would throw in a joke somewhere, and it would make these like tense moments almost laughable.
This movie really was ridiculous, and not in a good way, but in just an awful way.
The trailers did such a good job of marketing the movie to be something more than it actually was. The trailers made the movie seem like it was going to be a much more smarter Star Wars movie. It was going to take risks. It was going to go to different avenues, explore new ideas, but it didn't have to do shit.
Seeing the trailers, like, this movie might be a game changer for the Star Wars franchise. I really like Evo said, I thought it was going to take it down a new path possibly and show some new things we've never seen before, some new aspects, and it didn't at all.
No.
Like every cool thing they could have done, anything they could have took advantage of.
The opportunities were there.
Do it.
They had little opportunities to grow these kind of
these
new ideas, but it would start, you'd be like, okay, it would just disappear. You'd just throw it away.
Or just have a straight up badass moment. Nothing.
Throw a little joke in there. Haha.
Nothing. It's for the kids.
Yeah. Alright, let's talk about the story overall.
Story was...
It felt like it went nowhere. It felt like it went nowhere.
Yeah, I feel like nothing's really changed from Force Awakens to this.
Instead of going forward with the story, it went on a slant. There was no real progression. Like, I didn't feel like any of the characters really changed or gained knowledge. Rey kind of did, but she was barely challenged in this movie. Just like Force Awakens, she's just a Mary Sue, just an unbeatable force.
Just walks in, does whatever she wants. She can.
Right when you think they're gonna really challenge her character, right when you think she's gonna get challenged, they just give her a free pass. Like, oh, here you go, do this.
And the sad part, like what we just said about Rey and Luke aspect of this movie was, as far as story goes, the best part of it, because the rest of it just seemed like they were giving everyone else just something to do.
Almost like filler, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, all right, we got Rey and Luke are doing what.
What
are we gonna do with everyone else?
Send him. Send him to the casino.
Yeah,
new plan.
God, give this guy a raise. Rey and Luke was the only part that's actually the story was interesting, and even then it wasn't interesting. It had potential to be interesting. They could have done some cool stuff.
So much potential.
They could have done so much shit. But they fucking didn't.
They played it safe.
It sucked.
Snoke, oh my god. No spoilers, but it's so lazy what they do with his character. He's built up so much in Force Awakens.
It's infuriating what they do.
And what they do with him in Last Jedi is just insulting almost.
It's like, here's a sick fucking character that the audience will love. And he's
he's
powerful. Let's just, fuck Snoke. He's not that cool of a character, actually. You know what? Fuck him. We're just not going to do anything with him.
Let's talk about the acting, all in all. Daisy Ridley.
The acting, actually, there was Daisy Ridley. For some reason, I feel like her acting wasn't as good in this movie that it was in Force Awakens. There was a particular line she delivered to Luke in the movie, and it was just this one line that I noticed it, but it was the most like rehearsed line. It seemed really delivered poorly. Like her acting was just better in Force Awakens, but everyone else seemed pretty solid and normal.
The writing was okay, it was fine. The cinematography of this movie, like that's one of the positive. Yeah, acting. So
acting was good all around. Daisy Ridley.
There wasn't a single like bad actor. The problem was just the overall writing of the movie. Like we said, the Force comedy. The comedy was just everywhere in this movie, and it just killed a lot of the more serious moments, the moments that were supposed to be serious anyway.
Andy Serkis did a great job as Snoke.
What he had to do.
What he had to work with was great. His line delivery was awesome. His character and how he portrayed him, great. His movements, everything he did was perfect and solid. It was the writers and the director and everything that snuffed Snoke.
How could Rian Johnson do this? Was he forced? Was his hands tied behind his back making this movie? I hope not. Well, they made it seem like it wasn't.
Ryan Johnson expressed it too. He's like, it's my vision of Star Wars.
This is his vision. I'm sorry. But fuck
I'm
you.
so fucking terrified for the new trilogy. Disney handed him a trilogy that he can work with, and then after seeing this, I'm like, oh shit, I can't believe I enjoyed Force Awakens more than this movie. That is a line I never thought I would say.
It hurts to say.
Even with all the fan service that Force Awakens surrounded itself with,
story,
all of that,
still was more enjoyable.
Was so much better than this movie.
Some positives. Cinematography was good. There's some really awesome shots.
Good shots and whatnot.
For sure.
Directing, we already kind of touched on directing, but directing kind of falls under cinematography. Good shots. Hopefully, it wasn't all of Rian Johnson's fault, but like we said, I'm starting to think it kind of was his fault. I feel like the comedy in the movie and all the family-friendly shit was the company, was Disney telling him and all the influencing the writers, you gotta have all this stuff and it has to be family-friendly.
Yeah.
It can't be too dark.
And also, another side note, Rian Johnson's original cut of this movie was 3 hours long. So
I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that because this movie felt like it was 3 hours long.
Yeah, it is the longest Star Wars movie, and it definitely feels like it, which is not a good thing.
I'm down for a long movie, but
I was hyped for this being this longest movie. Hell yeah, more Star Wars.
2.5 hours, they have a lot of time to elaborate on the story.
But the story went kind of nowhere.
Where they're at now is pretty much where they're at the end of Force Awakens, with the exception of a couple of characters and whether or not they still exist.
If there isn't that much change. You watch the end of New Hope, watch the end of Empire. Big changes happen. Big change, Peter Parker would say. Big change. You watch fucking Phantom Menace, and then you watch the end of Attack of the Clones. Big change.
Big change.
You watch Force Awakens, and then you watch Last Jedi. Peter Parker's not saying that.
Yeah, May's not even knocking on the door.
No, Peter! The story does go somewhere. It does develop the characters, but it's just minute. It doesn't feel as good as it should have been.
Rey, like we said, is just handed her power. She doesn't have to work for it at all.
The training, there isn't any.
There isn't any training.
There's a little bit, but
there's a scene.
Yeah, but not enough to really.
Yeah, there's one scene like Empire Strikes Back. Luke was on Dagobah system. He was there with Yoda for a good chunk of the movie, practicing the Force, listening to Yoda's wisdom.
And then he's not that good. He gets his ass kicked. And again, the space between Empire and Jedi, it's not just right after the movie. There's months in between. Mm-hmm. So there's time where he develops his characters, his powers off camera. Rey is already a god.
This movie picks up in the same moment, the same
which is
second.
Fine. Yeah, I like that.
That's solid. That's fine.
It keeps it nice and consistent. The movie does a poor job of developing Rey's character.
Yeah, it just supports the argument that her powers are handed to her. She doesn't have to earn them at all. She doesn't work for them. She found this thing alive within her, and then she
barely gets tested in this movie.
Really,
that's what I was hoping. I wanted her to get challenged, but she doesn't.
She did the smash in the first one, and this one had been great to see her just get completely wrecked and then have to come back from that wreckage maybe in the next movie and just be powerful.
Acting was good. The score, obviously, it's Star Wars. It sounds good. The special effects were great. Here's another positive. This movie does do its own thing. Mm-hmm. They make nods to the originals and stuff, but it's fine.
One thing I was surprised about was the lack of Chewbacca in this movie and how he didn't do anything.
That's true. He did shit.
Chewbacca didn't do anything. He flew the Millennium Falcon and kicked in a door.
This movie was so crowded. It introduced a lot of new characters. It just didn't know what to do with the characters they created in the first movie. It was just a jumble of shit, and everyone was getting uneven screen time, and character arcs were unfulfilled, and getting dropped like that. It was just unfulfillment everywhere from every angle.
One positive, as far as characters go, Benicio del Toro. I mean, he didn't have much to work with, but he did a solid job. His acting was solid. I enjoyed his character. He won't give too much away. Just took care of himself, basically. But then reverse side, a negative, as far as new characters go, Rose. Didn't like Rose.
That whole storyline with her and Finn is just filler.
It's weird, and you don't want it, and it's forced.
Very.
It's so forced. It's weird, and I don't know. It
just makes the movie just more unfocused.
I really thought when they got to the casino scene and it showed the track, I thought there was gonna be pod races. I fucking thought it was gonna be pod racing, and the way this movie was going and how much I already disliked it, I wanted it to be pod racing. I wanted it to be pod racing, and then you hear way in the crowd, now this is pod racing. I I wanted that so bad. I just wanted Jar Jar to be fucking dancing on a building because at that point in the movie,
he's running the pod race.
At that point in the movie, they could have done any of that awful shit that the prequels did, and I would have enjoyed it more because at least at that point they know they're shitting on everyone.
Most of the action in this movie were just space battles. And Star Wars isn't about the action, technically, and it shouldn't be.
Not at all.
But if you're going to have this much action in it, you at least make it entertaining. And, I mean, it is to an extent, right? You can just turn off your brain, explosions, huh? But like, with the action scenes having all these comedic moments in it, it really just hurts them in general. You're watching knowing, like, everything's going to be okay. Because there's going to be another comedic moment right after that, and you're just going to laugh about it, and it's going to be fine. Just joke around about it. A lot of people die, but just laugh. Just laugh.
It's a good time.
Fucking laugh!
Force Awakens showed more elaborations on the Force usage than this movie did.
And you expect this movie to do it.
It should have been the other way around.
Jedi with Luke, but they don't go into the Force at all, really. They do a little explanation of the Force and how everyone has it and stuff, but that's been told before in the prequels.
But
they kind of talk about the Force, but it's not as in depth as you would think it to be. This movie doesn't really go anywhere. That's the thing. It just doesn't feel like it shouldn't be an episode. Episode 8 doesn't deserve it.
After seeing it, I really feel like it was just a waste of money, a waste of time, and I'm really upset that so much money went into making such an awful thing.
Like, if you take away the good visuals, which is purely a product of the crazy budget this movie had and all the people working on it, if you take that away, take away the amazing score, take away the amazing special effects, you just have a movie that's unfocused, riddled with comedic moments that are badly timed half the time, that kill tension in pretty much every scene. That's what you have, really. Before you guys get upset with our rating, okay? Just think about the fucking hype of Force Awakens. When that movie first came out, how much people loved it. People fucking love Force Awakens.
That's true.
It's the best movie, the best Star Wars movie, it's so good. And then something happens. And then a couple months, people look back on it and think, it's okay, it's not bad, it's just average. Rogue One comes out. It's the best Star Wars movie ever. It's better than Empire. Darth Vader scene. That scene at the end. Oh my God! Something happens. A couple months, people look back on it.
The movie was fucking trash.
Rogue One was actually poopy fart, okay? Rogue One's, out of these three movies, Rogue One's the worst one.
God, by far. I mean, Rogue One.
The point I'm trying to make now, Last Jedi comes out. It's the best Star Wars movie ever! And I guarantee you in a couple months, when the hype dies down and people really watch this movie without the lens of hype and nostalgia and
without butter on their fingers and wrappers in their
popcorn
teeth
and masturbating, they're gonna look at this movie and be like, wasn't good, wasn't bad, just okay.
They definitely could have done more with it.
Could have done way more with a lot of scenes. Yeah. That's the same thing.
Now that I rewatch it, I realize that they could have done some more stuff, but they didn't utilize it at all.
And it hurts this movie a lot more because they had two previous films to look back on. Like, where did we go wrong? Here's all the mistakes of Force Awakens. Here's how we can fix them, but they didn't fix them. They didn't expand anything, really. They tried to, but it was just a nudge. They just nudged it forward. They just nudged the movie forward. The story and the progression. Just a little push. Don't try too hard, Last Jedi. Just go a little bit, little baby steps.
No matter what you do, we're getting our money back.
No matter what, you're doing great, baby. You're making billions for us. You're gonna make us billions.
It's gonna be huge.
You're beautiful, baby. You're great.
Yeah, no. Play it safe. Don't do anything bad or risky.
And the movie's marketed like it is gonna be risky. The trailer is
they make it dark.
What's gonna happen?
Rey's gonna go to the dark side, maybe.
Yeah, the trailer had like no comedy in it at all. It's really somber tone. This movie is not somber.
Like, this movie is gonna be dark, have some cool shots, and just some force.
Gosh.
Nah.
Let's just rate this, and then we'll jump into spoilers for people who've watched it and want to see what we're actually complaining about.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm giving this a 5.5. Okay, it's mediocre, average, borderline average. It's bland. The movie, like I said, it just didn't push it as much as it should have been. Where are they going to take this arc? Where are they going to take this character? And it just ends right there. It's like, oh, okay, I guess that's we're moving. Oh, yeah, laugh about that. Yeah, it's the comedy. I think that's pretty much it. 5.5. Reese?
I'll give the same exact rating, a 5.5 out of 10 for me.
Oh, I think it's our first agreement. I think it's the first time we've had the same rating.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. 5.5 out of 10, but not as in 5.5. It's almost a 6 because I feel with the franchise this large and the influence they have and the budget they have, like, it can't just be an average movie. It's either good or it's bad. So I feel like it's a 5.5 with the potential to be a 7 or an 8 or even a 9 if they knew what the hell they were doing. But yeah, no, this movie was not good at all. What they could have done with it, they put that way in the back and then just played it safe with that family comedy, that good tone, no risk taken, didn't do anything new, didn't elaborate on shit, and it was a waste of time.
This movie should have been an 8 at the least. There's our scores, 5.5, both of us. Now, spoiler time. We're going to talk about all the spoilers, all the fucking...
Spoilers!
All the jokes. Spoilers!
Spoiler time.
Alright, spoilers.
Let's talk about all this shit that we just want to make fun of.
Dude, this movie has so much to fucking make fun of. Leia has the most ridiculous scene I think I've ever seen in Star Wars. It is disgusting.
Right, yeah, so her ship gets blown up and she's just in space chilling. You think she's dead, she's like, oh.
And she's chilling for, it's not like the blows up, she's chilling, then she does what he's about to explain. She's there for a good, little bit.
They hold it for a couple seconds. And then...
Just going. You see a little...
And it starts moving, you're like, oh, well, that's kind of weird, okay.
Yeah. I don't know what she's going to do with
and
this.
And then it transitions to one of the most ridiculous scenes in the movie.
Oh, easy.
She is just fucking levitating through space, back to her ship, eyes closed.
Yeah.
The way it's shot, it's like a nice pan shot. She's just floating in space like...
It's so awkward to watch. It's so fucking weird.
Just imagine that for like fucking 40 seconds. It's hilarious.
It's fucked. It is so fucked. That scene was...
And the movie doesn't explain, like... It was always like common knowledge that Leia had a connection to the Force, obviously. Yeah. But it was always implied that she was never a Force user, technically. She had connections, but she was never like Luke.
She could sense Luke and sense things going wrong in the Force when, Han died.
This movie takes a left field, and all of a sudden she can levitate through fucking space, dude.
Hold on to the road.
It's so left field, it makes no sense.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
Where did this fucking come from?
It was bizarre.
It's never explained. She just somehow learned how to do that, I guess.
Yeah, disgusting. Leia doesn't fucking die.
Carrie Fisher's dead.
She's dead.
But they didn't kill her. But they killed Luke. And they killed Snoke.
Oh yeah, they killed Luke. They killed Snoke. The fuck?
It makes no sense.
Fuck this movie.
You remember reading when Carrie Fisher died, Rian Johnson and all the crew were like, Leia has such a good we're going to send her off. Great send off. You were probably thinking like we were, like, oh, they're going to, really treat her death like really sad. It's going to be somber. It's going to be fucking emotional and sad. No, she lives. She fucking lives. She lives through the entire movie. She's alive.
She's alive. She goes to this movie alive, and...
So they're either going to kill her off camera for the third movie, or it's just going to be a fucking CGI Carrie Fisher for like a little bit.
God.
And that's disgusting.
Awful. That'll be so bad.
Let's talk about Snoke.
Snoke? What the fuck?
What a wasted opportunity.
Holy shit. The way they started with Snoke, Andy Serkis' line delivery, how Snoke, he didn't do anything new with the Force, but he showed that he was clearly very fucking strong. Like, he was strong with the Force. He could do whatever he wanted. He was literally like this half the movie, just throwing bitches around. Whenever you do something, he just throw them around like this. He didn't care. He had a line of dialogue. He's like, I can't be killed. I can't be turned against. I'm fucking Snoke, And then he gets the Darth Maul treatment.
Spend the entire Force Awakens building up his character to just kill him off.
Alright, another character that we can shit on. Captain Phasma. After the underwhelming performance of that movie and her character in Force Awakens, the directors, they said like...
The backlash that character received for not having actual motives or any screen time in the movies and didn't
affect anything in the movie or its outcome. Like, oh yeah, Captain Phasma, her character has an arc, she's really elaborate on it, she gets more... Like, she affects this movie. We heard your complaints. She's in this movie fucking hardcore.
She's so crazy in this movie. She's great. Ooh, she's a real good role model.
Yeah, for the women out there.
Yes. What happens? She dies.
Yeah, she comes in the movie the last 20 minutes. She has about 5 seconds of screen time.
It's laughable.
It seriously is.
How she dies is laughable. It's literally a joke how she dies. When she died, somebody in the crowd made a joke, a golf term joke, and everyone laughed about it. Finn it's a joke. Her death is a joke. How she dies is a fucking joke. Half this movie is a joke. Literally, it takes it as a joke.
And I remember Rian Johnson, he literally said, yeah, Captain Phasma is the kind of character that watches herself. She takes care of her own self. Not really good or bad. She just takes care of her. What the fuck? That doesn't make fucking sense.
Where do you see that in this movie or Force Awakens? You don't.
At all. No, it doesn't make sense at all. It's fucking stupid.
Let's talk about Luke. He's the one, the big
Luke
character.
skid mark, man. Fuck.
Mark Hamill did a great job acting-wise, I thought. I think he did a good job portraying Luke as like just a beaten old man who doesn't give a fuck about anything, just like lost his way. And I enjoyed that, but the way he is sent off is just ungratifying. It's just lazy. You just I know, like, oh, he's gonna die now after that? Like, he sends a hologram out.
It's just a hologram, folks.
It's not even real.
And Luke dies from it. He's like, oh.
Yeah, he does a hologram. Like, it turns out he's just on the fucking planet. He's like, sweaty as fuck.
Wow. Getting hit with all those bullets by not actually getting hit by them really fucking hurt me.
And it just disappears. Yoda died because he was nearly 1,000 years old and live as long as I have and look good this you won't. You know, like all that. Like, he died. That made sense. He was tired. He's old as fuck.
Literally thousands of years old. Hundreds of years old, at least.
Yeah, he was over 900, I'm pretty sure. Something like that.
Yeah, how old was Luke? He was younger than Count fucking Dooku. Dooku's spraying lightning, lifting up poles, fighting Anakin and
Obi-Wan at the same time. Twice the pride, double the fall.
Yeah.
And then Luke just
he sends
tired. A hologram of himself. He's really sweaty because it's fucking humid on his island, and then he just passes out and disappears.
And I thought they would give Luke like a shining moment where he's just fucking powerful. He's like back with the Force. He's gonna show these plebs how it's done. The cameo with Yoda was really good though.
Yoda was in this movie.
I liked when
that was a nice little.
That was probably my favorite moment because it just felt genuine. Like it just the conversation was well written. It felt organic. The conversation banter between Yoda and Luke is just a harken back to the.
Like I feel like they actually took their time for this one scene. Like
guys,
Yoda's in the scene. Let's take some time, all right?
Let's respect this character.
Let's actually write some good dialogue for Yoda. It reminded me of the old Star Wars, the originals. It was familiar. It was a really nice feeling when Yoda came back, and
it just felt good.
For a second there, I enjoyed being in the theater. And then Hayden Christensen's ghost came in. He says,
where was Obi-Wan? I was hoping for Obi-Wan and Anakin to show up too and be like, Luke, come on, man, let's get back, let's fight those guys, let's go.
And Kylo Ren would just have a real serious talk with Anakin, and they would just have a bonding moment. Anakin's like, hey man, I went down the same path you're going down.
Come on, my balls.
I
like
lost
your hair.
my legs. I lost my arms. I look like shit. Don't do it. It's not worth it. The weirdly forced relationship of Finn with Rose, what they were doing the whole time was just dumb. And then at the end, she fucking loves him. She gives him a little peck on the lips.
I love you.
Don't destroy the things we hate. We gotta save the things we love. Yeah, it's like Finn didn't.
Ray turned me down, so I might as well get some action.
Yeah, Finn didn't want it, but he's like, I'll take it, I guess.
A kiss is a kiss.
It's just uncomfortable seeing Finn and Rose. It was so forced and weird.
Let's talk about the final act of this movie. Going back to when Luke shows up. When they give that kiss, right? In the background, that fucking laser beam just blows up the bunker where the rest of the resistance is at.
It was a hole in the gate.
Huge hole, right? And then what happens? What does the First Order do? Nothing. They just sit there.
Shit.
It cuts to Luke coming in, talking to Leia, talking to C-3PO, and walking out. That's like 10 minutes of just nothing happening. Fucking Finn shows up with a wheelbarrow, just wheeling in fucking, what's her name?
Rose.
Wheeling in Rose from the battlefield. And he's right next to the fucking fighters. The First Order watched Finn just wheelbarrow this fucking woman across the field to the bunker, and they didn't do shit.
Anything. And when they were blowing the hole, like, Kylo Ren is so bloodthirsty to kill the rebellion. In this moment, he's like, we're ending it now. All power on the gates. Fucking kill them. There is now a hole in the gate. Like, what they were working for the whole time. Hole in the gate. Kylo Ren didn't do shit. It's just like, all right.
Legit, 10 minutes passed by.
Everybody chill. See what happens.
Yeah, sure, do you want to fire? Do you want to just shoot that same laser beam in that open-ass hole now? It'll kill everyone in the
It'll obliterate the entire bunker because the place was just made of salt.
No, you see Finn, he's wheeling her back there. Just let him do it. Just let him do it. Okay, he's back in there. What now? Just wait like a couple, 5 more minutes.
Is that Luke? Fuck.
Oh, that's Luke. Okay. Everyone just fire on Luke. Just ignore everyone. Just fire on Luke. And then when he comes out, Kylo doesn't say like a smart fuck. Hey, I'll fight Luke. You guys just fucking bombard the bunker.
Yeah.
Ignore Luke and I. just blow up the fucking bunker.
Yeah, he tells them, don't make a move until I'm done or something like that.
Yeah, he could just say, like, Hux could have been like, okay, can I just shoot a missile in that bunker? Just one missile or something? No. Oh, like, he doesn't. So lazy, dude. Here's another scene that was really stupid. And it was the majority of the movie. When Poe and that new actor who gets dropped instantly, the new character, the new...
Lisa Dern?
Something
Dern.
Yeah. So, they're escaping the First Order, and they're low on fuel, and the fuel tank has like 18 hours or so in.
That, by the way, that's the plot of the rebellion. They're floating through space.
Yeah, guys, let's just float through space.
They float through space. The First Order's like, their Juggernaut and their Imperial Starfighters behind them. They're like, we'll just shoot them to let them know we're here.
Yeah,
and wait for them to lose fuel.
Hux, why don't we just send a bunch of our TIE fighters at them? Nah, let's just...
No.
I know our ship's out of range, but we have a bunch of little ships we can just send, right? I mean, they're low on morale, low on TIE fighters, ships, everything. We just let's just send our ships there and just shoot the ship up.
Why do that?
No.
Why do that when we can wait 18 hours for their fuel to burn out?
Let's just keep on driving.
All like 5 of the Imperial Starfighters that they have following the thing, they just want to...
That's not even the worst part, though, right? So by the end of this, they're low on fuel, and they put all the Resistance members on little jet pods to go to this planet. Right, and the First Order is like, oh, let's just shoot these pods out. And they start shooting them, and they leave. Let's just call her Dern.
Miss Dern.
She stays on the ship. So they start shooting the pods, and she's like, oh no, they're not going to shoot me anymore. So I'm just going to turn the ship around, go on the hyperspeed, and crash through everything. Why didn't she do that before? Why wasn't that the plan before? Hey, let's put all these people in the pods. Instead of me just turning around, I'll just fucking face them and just jump into hyperspace and just destroy them all immediately before they even shoot the pods down. Generals for years in space combat, they know everything apparently, but they can't. They had 18 hours on this ship to come up with a plan like that. Like I could have come up with that. Let's just put the people in the pods. I'll crash the ship in the fucking thing in hyperspace. I'll do that. But her original plan was, I'm just gonna drive straight until I run out of fuel and they shoot at me.
You guys go, I'll draw them away.
I'm a 5-star fucking general, okay?
I'm going to float for another hour or two. And
you guys get in these pods, I'm just going to put this on cruise control and have the time of my life.
I'm going to get drunk as fuck. I'm going to finger myself.
Oh my god.
Oh. There's a kid in this movie. There's a
That's a big topic.
Yeah, there's a kid in this movie. He's he's on the casino planet, and he's like a little slave boy training these weird horse pod racer things. At the end of the movie, it's going back to him, and he's walking out of the shop he's working in, and he just casually uses the Force to grab a broom. He's just walking by, whoop, and he just starts doing his fucking chores. This kid's using the Force to do his chores, and it's like such a moment, like you have to catch it. I barely caught it. I thought it was a mistake, but you had to see it. They didn't elaborate on it. They didn't do anything, and then he ends up he's wearing a little rebellion ring. So as long as you're wearing the Schwartz ring, you have the fucking power. Like, honestly, at this point, Spaceballs has better writing and solid story than this fucking movie did.
Force is everyone. Everyone has the Force. It's just, Yeah. But doesn't mean you just fucking conjure it up if you just believe in it.
And if that's the case, then the Force is no longer a special thing.
No, it lost its fucking
And they also say, like, practicing the ways of the Jedi is a religion. You have to know what you're doing. You have to read the script. You have to have a teacher to teach you.
Even fucking Anakin had to do it. He's a chosen one. He couldn't just lift a broom when he was in Tatooine, a little slave boy. Mm-hmm. Hey, Mom, look what I can do. Ooh, whoa, that's crazy. Yeah, I got a ring.
It's good. He's using the Force to do his chores. That's fucking stupid.
It's stupid. If you enjoyed this movie, I'm happy for you.
Hey, good
if
for
you
you.
If you weren't let down by this movie, I'm surprised. And
I'd like to hear how you weren't let down.
Yeah, please.
What did this movie do that made you happy?
Yeah,
I'm interested.
seriously.
We're both interested to hear what you have to say.
Please let us know, okay?
Like or dislike. If you liked the movie, let us know why. If you didn't like it, other than reasons we said, what were some more reasons? Anything we missed? Any other characters that we missed to trash on? If you want to trash on them too, trash on them. If you like what you saw here, subscribe. Or don't.
Please do, guys. Seriously. We're trying to get to 5,000 by the end of this week. Alright.
2 million by the end of the year.
We're at 15, but we can easily hit 5K in like a couple days.
Until next time. Fuck you, Ajit P. What's Ajit Pie?
Ajit Pie. Ajit Pie.
Fuck you.
Fuck that guy.
Where's Obama when you need him?